Hello, this is an update video for my mod. Since the previous video, quite a lot of things have changed. Most notably, I added a lot of weapons and crafting materials. The crafting system is still very much unfinished. Yeah, it's broken. It's very broken, but I'll show that later. Right now, I'll show you titanium ore and other titanium related things. So let's start with the titanium ore. It can be found anywhere below Y10. If I go down here, here is some titanium. There is some in the stoneware, and it's pretty common. It's most commonly found at about Y-24, and that's about all there is about the titanium ore. It drops raw titanium, which is like all the other titanium stuff. It's just a retextured iron ore texture. Not retextured, recolored. If I take deep slate iron ore, or a block of raw iron, or iron ingot, or iron nugget, any of these things, as you can see, it's quite similar. It's made by blasting raw titanium ore, or any of these two. It takes 20 seconds to turn raw titanium into normal titanium. That's 4 times the time that it requires for example, iron ore. If I take raw iron, it takes 10 seconds in a normal furnace, but 5 seconds in a blast furnace. That's because in real life titanium is very hard to turn into something usable. So to reflect that, it takes 20 seconds to turn into something useful. And that's about everything there is about titanium. It's used in some recipes, I think. I don't remember actually if I added any recipes for it. You can also craft raw titanium blocks and titanium blocks, which are also like ingots, just whiter iron blocks. As you can see, it has a slightly more white rim, and the same goes for the rest of the texture. This one will also get retextured probably, but anyways, there is also now molten basalt, which is made by melting basalt in a blast furnace. If I take one of these and take basalt, smooth basalt, and put it in a furnace with some fuel, as you can see, after a while, it will turn into molten basalt after 10 seconds. So it takes too few to turn, like too few things to turn into normal basalt. As you can see, it says it's 1.5 items, but it's 0.75 for molten basalt. It is basically turning rock into lava, so it's to be expected that it takes a lot of time and fuel. Anyways, molten basalt is pretty useless, except for the fact that if I take a crafting table and do this, I get basalt fibers, which are, if I press U, are not used for anything, but I'll show you later what they're actually used for. Next, there is raw Aramid, which is made out of redstone dust and coal. In real life, it's made out of something completely different, but it's a game, so it doesn't really matter. If I take it and put it in a furnace. It takes 5 seconds, just like any other ore. I feel like I should make it so it doesn't require a blast furnace and can be made in a normal one. Anyways, you get aramid fibers. Next, if you get like 9 of them, you can turn those. I'm so bad at the game. Anyways, you can turn those into aramid fabric. And if you get, it's so expensive. Okay. And if you get 9 aramid fabric, you can turn it into hardened aramid. And you can turn it back into fibers, by the way, but you can't turn hardened aramid back into fabric. Just a heads up. Anyways, it takes 5 seconds just like any other thing to produce, and it is pretty cheap as a result. Except it requires redstone, but you get a bunch of redstone when you mine one ore. So it's pretty cheap, yeah. If you didn't know, Aramid is a real thing. I believe Kevlar is Aramid, actually. Kevlar is a type of Aramid. So all of this will be made out of, no, not this. All of this, HM Kevlar, and probably some other armor will be made out of Aramid. Next, there is nothing really except for zombies, which spawn naturally now. I figured out how to do that. um, but the spawning behavior is very buggy, and sometimes they spawn in midair, and sometimes they spawn in water, and I have no idea how to fix it. So for now it's gonna be in the mod, but in the future that will be changed. Anyways, as you can see, there are some zombies, and I made them very fast for some reason. Uh, anyways, they function just like regular Minecraft zombies, except that they're not, and they have a lot less health. And yeah, that's about it. As you can see, basically any weapon except for some that are made to have like damage over time effects and so on, one shot them. If I take poison claw, for example, it has very little damage because it's supposed to deal damage over time, but it doesn't. So it deals a very small amount of damage, and it takes a lot of time to kill a creeper, for example. After that, there is this thing, which is very much a work in progress. As you can see, it's a crafting table, but instead of a plank background, it uses a titanium block background, and it is very broken. Anyways, if I right click this thing, the very masterfully crafted GUI pops up, which sucks, to be honest, and I need to completely rework it, which I will do. As you can see, I tried to change the icon from this to the actual item icon, but I haven't figured out how to resize it. So for now it's gonna be like this. I'm just gonna rework the entire GUI in the future, so it's not really that important. Anyways, as you can see, there is a list of materials down here, which is those basalt fibers, aramid fabric, I believe, yes, and hardened aramid. So I take all that, click here, and I get a Medusa helmet. Don't ask why it is crafted on a CM workbench. I just haven't added any other workbenches for now. I'm just figuring out the crafting system, but more are coming in the future. So there will be a separate atomic workbench which will be used for crafting Medusa armor and Titan armor, which is, in my opinion, very questionable because it reduces your speed quite a lot and doesn't provide much protection, unlike Hardplate, which at least provides the most protection in the game, I believe. So like 140 toxic defense. No, no, it sucks at toxic defense. But at least it has a lot of physical and thermal defense, unlike Medusa armor, as you can see. So it's gonna be much more useful than in the game, because in Minecraft you can actually, for example, just use it for protecting your base or something, I don't know. If I go in here, it can craft a helmet, a chest plate, and I haven't drawn like this texture for the leggings and boots because I won't really add those textures. I decided to use the item textures instead, like those ones. So you can also craft the chest plate. As you can see, just crafts a perfectly normal chest plate and subtract. Yeah, I'm pronouncing that right, I believe. I'm not sure. Subtracts the resources from your inventory and just gives you this chest plate. Same goes for all the other stuff. The reasons why this system is bad is, first of all, it just works really bad. Like, there are no bugs, but it is very confusing for the player, in my opinion. And also, I have to draw two separate textures for each armor piece and weapon, which I am too lazy to do. Yes, that's part of the reason why I am switching to using the item textures. What I want to make it do instead is I put the items in there, like I right click this, an inventory pops up, and I just put all the items I want to use for crafting in here, and then I use arrows just like this to scroll between different options and craft whatever I want. I feel like that would be a lot more intuitive to the player. I'm not sure. Because this just doesn't feel right. Anyways, you can craft anything right now. I haven't actually really configured the leggings and boots recipes, so they just require 5 basalt and 4 ar Aramid. Okay, that's the weird name. Um, but I have came up with some values for the helmet and the chest plate, so they're crafted like this. But this recipe is going to change like all the other ones, and a lot of them will be added. The crafting system just is broken right now. Also, it is very much hard-coded, so if someone wants to, for example, make some things more expensive or cheaper for their mod pack, they have to create a separate mod with mixins. Basically, it's just a mess, so I want to remake this system for data packs, so you can create a data pack easily that changes the recipes or adds more workstations or something. Uh, that will be much better in my opinion. Anyways, that's all the stuff that I've added. I also added a spread system for weapons, and some weapons shoot multiple bullets per shot. For example, if I take, for example, Heartburn, it shoots one bullet. Wait a second. shoots one bullet when I shoot, but if I take, for example, something like the Mustang, which is a pistol, but it is very much a shotgun. Don't ask how that works. As you can see, it shoots multiple pellets, and if you hover over it, it displays rounds per shot 12. So it shoots 12 pellets per shot. I just copied the numbers from the wiki and put them in my mod. And that's all the changes. I added all the pistols, all the shotguns, and a lot of the weapons from the game are now done. There are also white machine guns, OMGs, yes, that's correct. Okay, white machine guns that make up the majority of weapons, along with assault rifles. So there is quite a lot of work left, but I'll do that in the future. It might take a lot of time now. Anyways, by the time I'm finished with weapons, I hope to finish the crafting system, because this is really bad. As a person who likes to edit some recipes whenever I play, I really don't like the fact that you have to create a mod for that. That would create some compatibility issues with other mods, and would be just bad in general. Anyways, that's about it. Goodbye.